You're saying that Lockhart not only has a nice smile, he also has a nice penis.
No, not even necessarily a nice penis, objectively.
The chapter titles, why so good?
Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Chapter 13, The Very Secret Diary.
The Very Secret Diary?
I did not notice the chapter title in the slightest. I skimmed through and didn't really think about what the chapter is called, but then you read it, and I thought about it. The Very Secret Diary. I'm not sure I like this one. I think it's just the use of the word very. I think that, especially in a title, is just like, eh.
Well, but she must have had a reason for saying that, Peter. She could have just said the secret diary, but Joe wanted the reader to know that this diary is more than just secret. It's particularly secret. Very, very secret.
I'm not disputing the idea that it's very secret. I'm just saying that calling attention to it in the title as The Very Secret Diary, I feel like just The Riddle Diary would have been a better title, in my opinion.
The Riddle Diary. Then you would think it was a diary full of riddles.
How about the diary riddle? Because it's a mysterious diary. It's like, whose diary is it? Which is a terrible riddle.
If it was just the diary, that wouldn't work. But the Riddle Diary, I like that, actually. And yeah, at the beginning of the chapter, you wouldn't know. You would think it was like a diary of riddles, but then you would read and it would make sense very quickly.
Chapter 15, Aragog, should have been called The Very Scary Aragog.
I think that's actually a perfectly good analogy there, that if she was going to call this one The Very Secret Diary, she might as well have called that one, like, The Big Hairy Spider.
Harry Potter and the Very Secret Chamber. Yeah, so this chapter of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets contains the first ever use of a narrative technique that will become quite prominent in the books to come. That, of course, is the use of a sort of interactive flashback where Harry is able to walk into the memories of another person.
Interactive flashbacks, they have those in Pottermore, right?
Yeah. This is sort of like Joe testing out the ideas for Pottermore. She's like, this is a completely new interactive reading experience that will take the reader inside the world of the book. And that's what's going on in this chapter. But no, it's a really large part of the Harry Potter books after this point. The notion of like walking into another person's memory and sort of poking around there and experiencing it either through this or through the pensieve or through invading their brain.
With this chapter, the way it was done is it was sort of like Harry finds a diary. Harry writes in the diary, I'm Harry Potter, and the diary answers, I'm Tom Riddle. Stuff about the Chamber of Secrets. Would you like to see? And then Harry sees Tom Riddle's memory of stuff pertaining to the Chamber of Secrets. So, yeah, it's a little bit contrived, probably more so than later on.
I mean, as you said, it's an introduction to a technique which she uses a lot and which I think she uses like very effectively and very well. I think the pensieve makes a lot of sense and is done very well.
I think it's just a good thing that Harry is constantly just in the habit of writing I'm Harry Potter all over every piece of paper he ever finds if he has a pen in hand, because that is a compulsive thing that he does.
He's got to remember who he is. I mean, if he doesn't keep writing that, he might forget. He might think he's Ronald Weasley.
He might think he's Dean. And then he'll, no, never mind.
Well, it's not going to be a racist joke.
Racist thing this episode. I'm not feeling particularly racist today.
Not this. No, see, sometimes he thinks he might be Dean, and then he's like, wait a minute, I don't even like West Ham at all.
I don't even eat ham. I'm Harry Potter. I'm Harry Potter. I'm Harry Potter.
I'm Harry Potter.
I'm Harry Potter. I'm Harry Potter. I'm Harry Potter.
Ooh, That's me. Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Harry Potter.
I'm Harry Potter. I'm Harry Potter.
What do you mean that he's in the habit of writing? I mean, he does it in this chapter. He just writes, I am Harry Potter in the diary because he's trying to communicate with the diary.
I'm joking. He's not in that habit. I'm making up a goofy, saying a goofy thing that's not really true about the books, but I'm saying it with conviction as though it were true.
Are you making a joke, Mr. Tom? Is this one of your little jokes again? Is that what you're doing here? Or are you kidding around?
It's a prank. Is
that sarcasm? Are you being ironic?
It's a jape.
Ooh, that sounds violent.
I think that
I'd like to have one of those.
I think that the use of
getting japed by Mr. Tom. That's like one of the most horrifying things that can happen to a person.
I'm not some kind of japist.
we eventually learn that Voldemort is extremely intelligent and cunning and good at getting what he wants. And in this conversation with Dippet, Headmaster Dippet, he's like very convincingly acting like he's embarrassed that he lives at a Muggle orphanage, and so that's why he wants to stay at Hogwarts over the summer, when he wants to stay at Hogwarts probably to do terrible things, like hang out with the Basilisk, or hide a Horcrux in the Room of Requirement, or any number of terrible things, or learn, or just explore, or learn more terrible secrets about the castle.
Use every bathroom at least once.
I wonder if he ever, I mean, like, he seems like a really deliberate guy.
Do you think he would go back and use the first floor bathroom with Moaning Myrtle in it after he just killed her months before?
He's already got that one. I mean, like, when he first gets there in his first year, it's like, wow, this place is so huge. Must be like 1 million bathrooms in here. And his little friend, assuming he ever had such a thing as a friend, is like, why do you care about the bathrooms? He's like, wouldn't it be cool if before we graduate, we all take a dump in every bathroom? And the friend is like, well, that's why would you do that? He's like, just experience it all. And his friend's like, that's really weird. And Voldemort's like, well, symbolic gestures are kind of my bag.
Well, no, maybe he doesn't think that it's totally symbolic. Maybe he thinks that he's like, it's like he's
marking his territory.
No, that's like a bonus achievement challenge thing that the quote-unquote game designers, the founders of Hogwarts, of course, threw in there. Like, oh my, if one person uses every bathroom, they unlock the Chamber of Secrets or something. Maybe that was how he did it.
Harry couldn't explain, even to himself, why he didn't just throw Riddle's diary away. The fact was that even though he knew the diary was blank, he kept absent-mindedly picking through it and turning the pages, as though it were a story he wanted to finish. And while Harry was sure he had never heard the name T.M. Riddle before, it still seemed to mean something to him, almost as though Riddle was a friend he'd had when he was small.
What the fuck? So Harry has part of Voldemort's soul in him? Does that have anything to do with this?
Yes, I think it does. I noted the same exact passage and was thinking of bringing it up, but I was not what the fuck over it. I was, wow, that's really neat that Joe put that in there, and really well done that Harry just has this sort of strange, inexplicable, like, longing towards this thing that doesn't make a lot of sense, and he thinks that maybe he recognizes the name, but that's not what's going on. What's going on is much more like in the 7th book, when they have all these strange emotions toward this locket because there's a piece of soul in it. It's the same thing here, where just being near to a piece of his soul is sort of imbibing him with these emotions toward it, and I think that was really very subtle here, and you would never expect that there's anything more to this diary, but it fits perfectly exactly in with what we know about Horcruxes later on.
Oh yeah, so you're saying the way the locket fucked them up when they had to keep it near them, the diary is fucking him up right here, so he keeps flipping through it even though he doesn't really know why he's doing it, because he doesn't know it's a Horcrux.
Yeah.
And just not even when he's flipping through it, but just this like weird little bit of obsession that he has with it. The second he picks it up and he's like, whoa, this diary, what is it? Like, he finds a book that was thrown in a bathroom. Who cares? It's very subtle and it kind of breezes by that Harry acts this way towards the book, but then looking at it, I think it can only be explained by the fact that it's a Horcrux, and I think that was a really smooth move by Joe and Rowling.
It's not sloppy at all.
Dwarfs are in this chapter.
Oh god.
Finally.
I mean, so throughout the Harry Potter series, Joe Rowling introduces us to many species.
Dwarfs are not human, and I don't give a shit about them.
Joe Rowling introduces us to many
Since the beginning of time.
Joe Rowling introduces us to many species.
There's a long tradition of Joe Rowling introducing us to species over the years. Here she continues this with dwarves.
Such a friggin' 10th grade.
She borrows from mythology.
What's your
from
thesis statement?
From various countries' folklores, if you will. Maybe a little bit from fantasy in general. Anyway, so we got the elves, we got unicorns, trolls, dragons, giants, gnomes. etc., etc.
Neville.
We got Neville. In this chapter, we're introduced to dwarfs. This is pretty much the only place that dwarfs appear in the series. So the dwarfs are hired by Gilderoy Lockhart to dress up as cherubs and deliver Valentine's Day messages, songs to students throughout Valentine's Day. And they don't seem very happy about having this job. They all seem kind of annoyed. Yep. And that's pretty much all we know about dwarfs. So I guess they're like really underprivileged dudes, and Gilderoy Lockhart offered them this job, and they're like, fuck, this is gonna be awful. We're gonna have to like walk around the school and like recite shitty limericks to kids who don't want to hear them. And apparently their contracts, like, they're not going to get paid unless they actually deliver the messages to the kids, because the dwarf who delivers the poem to Harry has to like hold him down and sit on his ankles and read the thing to him. In conclusion, J.K. Rowling does dwarfs a massive disservice in this series, and I for one am terribly offended and deeply regret ever reading the Harry Potter series.
I have a response to that. Since the beginning of the Harry Potter series, Joanne Rowling, author of the successful international best-selling series about boy wizard Harry Potter, has included many magical creatures, including...
I think that's disingenuous. The series isn't entirely about Harry Potter. Lots of other important characters. To say that it's just about Harry Potter is ridiculous, Tom.
I thought it was a series about love.
It's about love, it's about death, it's about right and wrong.
Including giants, ghosts, goblins, dementors, hippogriffs.
Well, she made dementors
Thestrals.
up. Give credit where credit's due.
Cats.
Thestrals also. Cats. Well, she made the cats magical for her own purposes. I guess she took cats from Cats.
The musical.
From the
Hags.
musical Cats.
Ghouls. Ghosts.
She took hags from my middle school yearbook.
Oh, that was great. Snape. Poltergeists.
J.K. Rowling made up Snape. Snape isn't real. Snape is a fictional character. What the fuck? That's crazy that she made that guy up. What a good
It's
character.
time for the interesting fact of the week on the chapter titles were so good. J.K. Rowling made up Snape. Leave a comment telling us how interesting you thought that fact was.
No, it's the interesting fact of the week. Because I think it's really mind-blowing, but Tom probably disagrees. Tom would think it was interesting if Snape were a real person and J.K. Rowling had adapted the person into the character.
No, that wouldn't be all that interesting. I mean...
What would be interesting?
Nothing.
Is there any way that Snape's creation would be interesting? No, there are no interesting things. Okay.
He could literally be real and have just, like, came to Joe and like, hey, I'm a wizard, and I am a part of the Harry Potter series to put me in these books that you're writing.
I think what would be interesting is if Snape created Joe Rowling.
Maybe in 20 years, when sales have died down a little bit, they'll be like, oh, we're just going to publish a one-volume thing, a book called Harry Potter. And it'll just have Harry Potter's giant face on the cover of this giant book.
One publishing executive will say to the other, we should just publish all the Harry Potter books in one book. And then the other guy will say, great, what the hell's a book?
We're still going to use the term book for a while, don't you think, even when no one has seen a physical book? Like,
yeah, I mean,
what would we call them?
If you're reading, somebody's like, hey, what are you reading?
I'm going to read this text file.
This fiction work.
Do you have a copy of the Harry Potter text file?
How about novel? I mean, it's a novel.
Right, but I mean, we still use the term LP and EP and album, which are specific terms regarding vinyl.
Speak for yourself, Peter. I don't use those terms.
What do you say when do you say, I'm listening to my new Arcade Fire MP3.
I'm listening to my new FLAC.
I'm listening to my Og Vorbis.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention that. J.K. Rowling also included Og Vorbises in the Department of Mysteries.
Is that the name for the brains with the tentacles?
Yes, those are the Og Vorbises.
The prophecies are contained within Og Vorbis.
I think you'll find it's Og Vorbi.
That's what a seer says before they make a prophecy. That's how you know it's a real prophecy, because they start to go into trance. They go, Og Vorbis. If the seer says flack, they're a faker.
They say MP3 or something. It might be real, but it's lossy, so you can't really trust the prophecy so much.
I got a 96-bit AAC prophecy once. I couldn't even hear the bass on it anymore. It was just
like, the Dark Lord will, and he will be on.
See, Voldemort was hasty and acted before he had heard the entire prophecy because he just couldn't hear that bass line.
He really should have gone just straight to Professor Trelawney's band camp and gotten the direct rips with the flax.
Professor Trelawney's band camp is such a good direct-to-DVD Harry Potter movie.
If you listen really closely to the bass line of Trelawney's prophecy, it's like, Neville. So it was totally referring to Neville. Voldemort just totally fucked that up. Is any of this usable?